All right, let's do this. We do this every year in the Jack Bauer YouTube channel. This will be a little bit longer of a video because it is the top Android TV boxes so far of 2020. All right, this is going to be for you guys out there that's always trying to look for what we're going to do for a new box. What are we looking at? What are we going to talk about? Because as many of you post questions throughout the year, which is the best box? Which is the best box? For the 10th year, so on in a row, I always go back to, believe it or not, the Fire TV stuff. But you got many choices here. As you can see from the Android 9.0, everybody wants the 4K. Very little programming out there still in 4K, but it is coming along. Unfortunately, none of the free stuff is in 4K. You're going to be buying stuff. But there are so many choices, so many boxes. They look cool. I tested out quite a bit myself to determine what we have. I'm going to go to a different blogger here. I'm going to show you what they recommend. And once again, before I start this, before I get all the hate messages, the reason that I go back always to Jack Bauer's choices of the Fire TV Cube, which is going to come down to be my choice, my number one choice. I'll tell you that right up front. The second generation Cube, because it has 16 gigabytes of storage, fast processor, passes 6,200 at least on above. Reviews going to the positive that you can also get the cheap Fire TV stick. I see it for $24, not $44. You can use coupons. The problem that I have with these are, the only issue I really have is that it has no memory. None. Okay? Remember that. You will be able to do 3 apps and you're going to be out of memory fast on the Fire TV stuff. So why does Jack Bauer and the Jack Bauer blog always go back to the Fire TV stuff? Reason number one is because they update daily. All right? These update daily. This has access to what's called a Recast, live recording TV. It's a separate device, but they have access for you cord cutters out there. You buy it one time, no subscription, you are in. All right? With the Recast. The Recast, you can record it. The rest of the boxes that are made every day, you will notice that you're going to have a problem with the original apps like Netflix. You're going to have a problem with trying to even do stuff for your paid apps like your DirecTV, your HBO, your Hulu. Because the problem is on these boxes here, outside of maybe the Shield, almost none of them have the license to put on those apps, for example, Netflix. So you're stuck with whatever older version comes with the box. Problem number 2 I have with all of these boxes is from the time that you buy it, 98% of them, that's it. You are going to struggle for the next update. You are going to really wonder what is the problem because you bought the box and where are the updates, and it's pretty much you bought it, you're stuck with it. That's the problem that I have with most of the boxes. Unlike the low memory, except for the Cube of the Fire TV, they update daily. Remember that, daily versus never. You don't want to miss all the updates for all of your devices. The apps, for example, like Netflix, Hulu, HBO, whatever you're doing, the Showtime, your Sling, stuff like that. Even though this is the only one with the memory, for you guys that have bought the Fire TV stick, once you put on there like 3 apps, this thing is out of memory. I mean, it says it has 8 gigabytes. By the time you upload this crap, you're going to realize you quickly only have 1 gigabyte of free stuff. So I'm going to give a shout out to the guy that did all of the hard work this year, Johnny Snap. Johnny Snap at his blog is Johnny Snap Goods. So I agree with Johnny, all right? So Johnny has some good views. for the 15 best Android TV boxes, and he has put in a lot of money and hard work into getting you these devices. It is crazy, but like for the Amazon Fire TV, this is not just him. This is all over the place as the #1 choice. The Amazon 4K. It's going to be an Amazon 4K stick that's you're going to want out there. The Amazon stick. And he shows you like the pictures, what it looks like coming out of the box. That's why I decided to look at Johnny Snapgoods, because Johnny Snapgoods is going to save us a lot of time. He's already taken the pictures on his blog. He's gone through it and inspected it. This is what you're going to look like when you inspect this. This will work with the Fire TV Recast for all you people who want over the air and the ability to record. That's the key too, and have it on your DVR without any subscription whatsoever. So he's tested the Amazon TV box earlier, he says, but the 5.0 isn't really up to date in his opinion. There you go, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 1 gigabyte of memory. All right, it really doesn't have much, even on the 4K. It's a little bit faster, I can tell you. And it does on the newer ones have on the Amazon Fire TV. Like this one, this is the pendant one you have to get off of eBay. I still use this one because it is 4K, it is fast. But this is an oldie, but a goodie. And the reason that I know that Johnny Snapgoods is bringing that up is because, again, for like 40 some dollars, this pendant here, believe it or not, is a powerhouse. All right, it is a powerhouse, and you can use the new. Forget this remote. You can get the new remote, the TV with the volume remote. All right, that's what I've done. I swear by this as my #1, the old Amazon, the best built box they've ever made. The Amazon. This is a Fire TV box that you're going to have to get this thing off of eBay nowadays, but this thing has everything built in from fast processors to Ethernet. I put 20 apps on this thing. It does have the room. The second generation of this does have 4K. It's one of the best built that Amazon has done and abandoned it. I don't know why, but they moved on to the Cube for about $119. I just saw this Amazon box on eBay for $44. Okay, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 8 gigabytes of storage. You can read more. I want to read everything from this guy's blog. But I'm just giving you my opinion after I have used these myself and why it still ranks as the best boxes on the market. I've seen a lot now with the SkyStream, all right? 2 streaming media players. I've seen a lot now with this 4K streaming player. And they will preload it with some of your Netflix, HBO, and stuff like that. Again, they're always the older version of the apps. My only concern is always on these type of boxes, the updates. What are you going to do when you bought it and you own this? This Android TV box. As Johnny said, I have heard much about this. It comes with a number of impressive features. All right. It does come with the Android version 7.12. And it can watch different shows online. You have boundless contents from CBS, ABC, Fox. But again, you're going to need to get your app like Sling or something like that and buy a second device to get in there. But it does have 3 gigabytes of RAM, 4K. All right, this thing does have some additional memory beyond the Fire TV if you're not worried about the licensing for the official apps. Okay, this has always been, for most of the people who are in the business, the Shield. This has always like 2 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes of memory. For the price, I will not deal with the Shield because what in the world are we going to do with only 16 gigabytes to play games on? All right, for example, like your Xbox games, like for example, Call of Duty, that's going to be 30 gigabytes of just one game. I know you can add external storage, but the internal storage here to me is why I've always not been happy with the Shield. There you go. It's an expensive operation that you can just go with the Fire TV Cube. It does have 4K, it has a HDR, it has a 5.0 update. None of that really means anything to anybody out there. But they do have the official license for like Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, and so on. They do have that. That is one of the rare ones about that box and why it's a favorite amongst, I guess you could say, the box Android TV streamers, because everybody's cutting the cable. If you haven't heard, Comcast, DirecTV, Dish, they are losing hundreds of thousands of subscribers by the month because everybody's going to the box. Everybody's going to the box. This is called the number 5, the Minix Neo U1. I have not tested this one. I have not. I don't know much about this one. I can tell you that right now. It's just another type of box. But what did catch my eye, it's a 64-bit quad core, which means it's fast. 2 gigabytes of RAM, that's good enough. It has the Google App Store, that will work. 4K, that will work for you 4K people that want to pay for the 4K stuff as you want to go forward. There are many of these things you can research on Amazon. The number 6 box, this has been a more popular one. The G box. This has been around for many, many years. The G box here, this is what it looks like coming out of the box. It's another standard one. Most people are always about, how fast is it? How does the remote work? It's a standard remote. It's got, again, the 7.1 operating system. Then in a G box, quad core, 2 gigabytes. Again, it is fast. You're going to want to make sure on the different versions of this that you make sure that you get the one with at least 32 gigabytes of memory. Like the number 7 one here, I've heard a lot about this H6 Pro because of the remote. Believe it or not, most people are in love more so with the remotes than the box. I completely understand that. It's easy to use. It sort of stands out in the dark because this one is white. It's, again, it looks like the back of it, like the Amazon Fire TV box. It looks exactly built just like that. 2 gigabytes of RAM. Again, comes in different versions. You're going to want to make sure that you got the right 32 or 64 memory with that. This one I don't know anything about, but I've heard about the RVL Media Tuner. The remote has been the only thing that people have complained to me about this in my comments because it's like a typical universal remote. It's got a lot of buttons on there. If you don't care about that, that's for you then. But it is a Media TV Tuner Android box that will never bore you, as he says. You'll be able to never have to pay for any cable satellite with this device. As once you pay once, you will enjoy one of the best collections of live channels like Cartoon Network, CNN. I don't know anything about this. You're going to have to do that, CBS. These are all paid apps, so I'm not sure what they're talking about. You only have to pay once. I would investigate that, but it does have quad core 1080p. Again, I don't really care about the 4K stuff because, God, there is really not much in that. This T18 here, this was another one that's been standing out because of the 4K quad core. Excellent looking right out of the box. This is another choice that you guys might want. Again, no certificates that I'm aware of. It has a 16 gigabytes, 2 gigabytes, again, of RAM. A lot of these boxes are similar, okay? This has always been, since I've been doing this, in my top 10. This one right here, people have always told me to go back to the Q box, the Android TV box. Again, very cool. A lot of processor power in there. Again, you look at the back of it. It's got the USB ability to add additional storage, HDMI cards. It adds a little bit more stuff than your traditional boxes. And people just like the look and the feel of this one. They just really like it. Again, with the quad core. Make sure that you get the right amount of memory. As you'll see, a lot of them, they complain about some of the bugginess of some of these. That's up to you. For you Roku people, I do have one of these. I'm not really a Roku fan, only because you cannot really do anything with it except buy the apps. For you guys who are buying the apps, Roku might be your choice, but you're not going to sideload really do anything with the Roku, so I skip right on over the Roku. The T95, I do have one of these. I use it. Yes, you can load all of the apps that you want. They don't have the original certificates. This thing does have different memory that you can add on to. This one is the 16 gigabyte, 2 gigabyte again. I always recommend no matter what, at least 32 for apps. For the games, forget it. You're not going to do anything with that, okay? But it is a cool one. I recommend that one. It is another good one out there. I don't know anything about number 13, the Pro TV, Yoka TV here. I don't know anything about that. This is going to be Johnny Snaps opening it up himself. As you can see there, he's taking not a lot of time for it. So let's take a look. It's 3 gigabytes, DDR4, 32 gigs. Again, that is good. You can install, well, he says you can install easily any app on Google Play Store. I didn't like the fact that it was outdated. Remember, that's what I keep telling you about a lot of these boxes. Remember that most of the boxes don't have the ability to have the right app or be able to update it here. As you can see, some of the last boxes here, they're cheaper at the number 14 and 15. You're going to have the same problem with this. I'm not going to really go into those particular boxes. I'm only told that people like the simple remote of number 15 of the Android box, the mini box. This one is sold pretty much everywhere. I've even seen this at Walmart. It is, believe it or not, a #1 seller. People seem to really like this one that they can do there on, and they're getting more updated apps through that number 15. Of all of them, number 15, only 8 gigabytes of storage. That's my negative. So if you're going to go that route, you might as well go stick it out with more ongoing features with the Amazon stuff, okay? So if you're going to go like the Amazon 4K, remember, they're one of the only ones that can put the Apple Plus app on there, some of the other apps that others cannot. So remember that as you're doing your research on what you're going to buy next. There's a lot of choices. Look at that. See the T95 are just 25 bucks, 54 bucks, $23. You're going to get what you pay for in these $23 boxes because remember, they are cheap. They got the lowest of the lowest quality in there. I would say your $50 range is more likely. You're going to get like the 4 gigs. Look at that, 64 gigs of RAM. And if you buy it from Amazon and you don't like it, at least at Amazon, you can return it. I have no affiliations whatsoever. I'm just telling you from an easy point of testing like I do. If you don't like it, you know, when you buy this box, you test it out and it's crapola, Amazon will take it back. Here's that My Box, $54. There you go. They will take it back. Unfortunately, if you buy a lot of this crap off of eBay and stuff, you are stuck. So if you're a tester like Jack Bauer, I would recommend do it through the easy guys like Amazon and let you test it out for yourself, see if you like it there. Subscribe to the Jack Bauer YouTube channel. You know, subscribe, hit the subscribe link right on my blog. All right. Thank you very much to Johnny Snap, who will put together all of this on his blog. All right, we'll go right back up there. Let's see. See, Johnny put a lot of time. I can tell you that this takes forever to do. Forever, and the expense is in the thousands all the time. So thank you, Johnny. This is Jack Bauer from the Jack Bauer YouTube channel. And this is the top Android TV boxes for 2020. And once again, the Amazon wins out, in my opinion.